If you are over the age of 35, stop everything you're doing right now. After a lifetime of eating fatty foods, you may run the risks of a stroke or heart attack due to plaque buildup in your veins and arteries. To learn how you can reduce your risks, visit youthfountainlab.com or call 1-800-853-7856 today. This may be a life-changing call for you or someone you love. Thank you, and we hope to hear from you.
Or go wherever, in your basement, or wherever, and kick it with rappers all over the city, live and direct from that city. And then we would bring it back to BET, and then we would edit it and put it on air. But after that point, when we were in Rap City, the basement, that was actually on a set, not in an actual basement. And a lot of people were pissed about that. And it's funny. But Nori was the one that sold it even more. He's the one that people believed it.
So, yeah, I think, but going on the road, listen, y'all, I'll tell y'all right now, going on the road, yo, listen, I was kidnapped by DMX one time, yo. So, going on the road.
Really?
Yeah, he kidnapped me, and I ended up and maybe be his stand at a club in Miami. The funniest shit ever, yo. And I did it because it was like, it's the
talk about it.
It was me, Tigger, I think, what's his name, John Tucker, and we had filmed all night. We're in Tigger's studio, whatever, chilling. We hear boom, boom, boom on the door, like, yo, Tig, nigga, you here? What's up, it's D? So Tig looks up and he goes, yo, don't say shit, because he not gonna leave, dog. And we was tired. But me, the year before I was in college, DMX. So I go, yo. Then he comes and boom. And he's meeting her, bounding down the stairs, meets everybody, tickets, introduces him. He goes, yo, DMX, D Brad. He goes, D, this is my nigga. D, all right, nigga. Listen, I'm about to go to the club, you know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas coming? What? This is how he's going. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, shit, this brother really talks like this. Because I've met other rappers, like Ghostface Killer would say, now I mean 20 times. But if you get off camera, very well spoken brother. He don't even stutter. But DMX was really act like, wow, he's really this way. So he's telling us to come with to the club, and he's like, yo, because I'm going to come get some bitches. And 9 times out of 10, nigga come with me. When I get some bitches, that nigga getting bitches too. But I got to go see some of my kids first. So Tig is like, kids? He's like, you know how I do, Tig. You know how I got 3 or 4 out here. No, nigga, I'm going to see you later on. So the nigga grows out. Later on that night, me and the other producer are walking to Collins Avenue on a side street, and it's like these 4 black tinted out Range Rovers. Just start. The first one real slow. So the other producer, is like, yo, just keep walking, man. Maybe if we ignore them, they'll leave us alone. I hear you. But that wasn't really me, because I'm scared as hell too, because I don't know what's going on. And at the time, I had on this white gold necklace. Yo, Obi, I had Alex's chain. Remember Alex Jones had the white gold joint? So I'm shook as hell, because I'm like, yo, I'm about to get robbed. I got on Alex's chain. That joint was like $4,000. I'm like, I'm not trying to pay for this shit. So anyway, at this point, the homie drives on the sidewalk. So for some odd reason, I just stop and I turn to the truck. Window comes down, my heart's beating like crazy, but I'm like, fuck it. All of a sudden I hear, yo, D, nigga, I thought that was you, nigga, get in. We're going to the club, nigga, what's up? And his ex, I'm like, yo. So I hop in, I go, yo, man. The other producer, he's like, yo, man, fuck that nigga. That nigga trying to walk, man. So he leans out the window and goes, yo, nigga, if I was gonna rob you, nigga, that walking shit, it don't mean shit, nigga. You just be a walking nigga with nothing. And he gets back in the joint, like, fuck that nigga. But, so it is, I work with him, so I'm like, yeah, man. But anyway, we get in the joint. He's like, yo, this shit, man. He was like, yo, nigga need to stop fucking with niggas like that. Man, nigga get you robbed, nigga. Like, you got heart, nigga. You got heart because you stop. That nigga's pussy because he kept walking. So I'm like, thanks, X, whatever. So he's driving all crazy. He parks in the parking lot, like almost hits 5 cars, parks, takes up 4 parking spaces. We hop out. I'm 6'3", he's shorter. So at the time, I'm like, yo, this is DMX. I'm amazed. And he's coming through the crowd. And I feel like, yo, this is the scene from Belly, because we're going through the club. And X didn't pop through the club. He goes, yo, this VIP shit, nigga. Fuck this shit. They gonna get some bitches. I'm out. So I'm like, all right, I'm figuring that's the plan. So we go to VIP. The women are lined up because it's DMX. His name's all over the joint.
Yes, sir.
Yo, this man I've never seen before was the most amazing thing. He walks up to this woman who's fine as hell. She's like an 11. He walks up to her. He said, put his hand out. It's like homie from The Wire, like, what the? I ain't never seen it. And then he looked back, he said, yo, D, yo, look, nigga, you gonna be me, nigga. I'm not going to that bitch like that. He said, yo, all that bullshit, you can have it, nigga. You ain't getting no money though, but you can have all that shit right there. He goes to the dude, and the friend goes, yo, this thing right here, this nigga's DMX tonight, nigga. I'm out, nigga. I ain't doing all this shit right here. And the rest of the night in the club, I was DMX. I had to sit where he was sitting. And then the most beautiful part of it is 2 weeks later, he's doing Rap City. So I done told the crew about my great time. Like me and DMX are the best of friends. So he's missing from the set. So Craig Henry goes, D Brad, that's your boy, go find him. So I end up somehow finding DMX. He's with 2 ladies from wardrobe and smoking. So I walk up to him, I go, yo, X, man, listen, bro, you a little late on set. And he's like, she just passed me the blunt. I don't know what made me take the blunt, but I guess because it was DMX, I took the blunt and actually took a hit. So I'm like, look, nigga, this money running late. These niggas waiting for you. Then he hops up. So now I'm gassed. I'm like, see, that's my man. We hung out in Miami. So I'm talking his head off about what happened when he left the club. Yo, the dude stops walking. He looks at me. He goes, yo, I don't remember none of that shit. But if you said we did it, my nigga, we did it. Let's go. And then he walks off to the set. And that's my DMX story. The nigga did not remember none of that shit that night. I was like, yo.
That was a great story.
That shit, yo. And I was gassed, like, yo, X. And then when you left, and he was looking at me like, nah, son, I remember none of that shit. Hey, that's my DMX story. That night he kidnapped me.
That's a short film right there, D. You gotta make that a movie. That's a movie, dog. A hilarious movie. You gotta make that a movie. Because I'm a steal it.
That's the movie.
Let's move forward. I want to ask you guys about what happened. Like, why did the show end? In your opinion, it was such a pillar in hip hop. It put a lot of people on, and it kept a lot of people relevant in that time. So, what happened? What was the ultimate demise of that show? Was it just technology? Or get into that, please.
106 in Park.
I
stand by that.
But we changed management. I mean, and I'm gonna let you take it after that, D. I mean, we were people argue that 1998, 1999, somewhere in there was the golden era of hip hop. People argue that, right? And so that was us. We was kicking it. But we also, one of the reasons why it was a golden era is like, we as producers had a lot of autonomy to do a lot of cool shit. I remember when, I gotta say cool stuff, I remember when I was producing shows, the Tibetan Freedom Concert in Milwaukee, Run DMC. I mean, everybody was there, and I was not just shooting the host. We were producing Rap City Japan at that time. I don't know if you know about that, called Rap City Niha. And besides shooting the host, at the end of the show, I would turn the camera around and I would get on screen talking stuff, just to do creative stuff. We went to Jamaica. I did a Beanie Man special in Jamaica. At the end of the show, I got on stage rhyming with Beanie Man. You know what I'm saying? We were creative beyond, like, with no bounds. But as Rap City The Basement came on and a few years went into that, there was a lot of tightening of the way things were done. And then we had a move where the majority of the studios in DC moved from DC to New York. And that was the beginning of 106 in Park. And in that movement transition phase, things changed. A lot of the same people weren't there. Things changed. And you can take it from there, brother. You muted.
Can't hear you, bro. Unmute yourself, D Brad.
My bad. I thought I did already. Obi's 100%. We had autonomy. The other shows literally would be jealous of us. They would be like, yo, well, why did they get to do this or that and the third? And like Obi would do his thing. I would be the voice of Fat Friday in the top 10. It did the top 10 countdown. So we had so much autonomy. And what the higher ups knew when we got to New York that I don't think we knew because we were doing it with love. when I would do little 10-second spots in a show that has nothing to do with this, I heard little 10-second blend in there. Hundreds of thousands of spots. We were for artists and record labels that technically paid. So when we got to New York, one end of it, the executives began to realize that. And before any of us could get hip to it, they were dead a lot of things. A lot of the autonomy was because it was like, nah, we don't even want the rap should be rich, all of us, based off what we did, but we didn't know. But with 106 in Park, I say was the nail in the coffin because we had the freestyle joint in the booth. They took that because they wanted to make it Freestyle Friday. I remember that. A lot of the artists. So if it was a hot hip hop artist, instead of letting them come to Rap City, they would grab them and go, we're gonna put them on 106 in Park. And it's understood because they wanted to make 106 in Park the flagship show of the station. Right. And they didn't want Rap City. I don't think was ever supposed to be what it was. Right. But once it got, they wanted to dead it. It was like no, like they. I remember the first time I worked on a video. The first video I ever worked on was G Dep's "Let's Get It" because Little X and I, or Director X and I at the time, were real cool. And they would. I don't know how the president knew, but I showed up that Monday to work, and he knew I was on that set. So they would try to stop us from having rapports. Yo, Obi, but you weren't in New York. I was like, Shine used to come to the office when he was going to court, and we would just hang. They didn't like that. They got mad at me because I was about to write Shine in prison, and I told somebody, and they told somebody else, and they said I got called to the office with all the execs, and my job was threatened. So they didn't want us to have any reports.
We used to kick it with Snoop in the damn booth in NetOps, and Snoop be in there blazing up, and the whole building to be blazed up, and we'd be kicking it laid back.
Like, we were the show. Like we would get all. I remember Master P used to come and lace us with No Limit gear, boxes and boxes to the Rap City office. Sean John, Puff would make sure we was good, and so that's kind of what ended it. Was the fact that we had so much autonomy, and then on top of it, we were respected. Put it to like this: here's the respect we had. And I'm gonna put you on Front Street because I know you might not remember this. We threatened to boycott playing Bad Boy videos on Rap City because one of Puff's got mad at Obi. The video, and the homie called. It's called threatening the whole like. They were all threatening the whole Rap City staff, but I don't think they realized that DC dudes are built a little different. I think they thought they were talking to New York and Jersey cats. So, and it was funny because the whole thing was they mentioned Big Gene Deal's name in an interview. Obi did this Biggie show about Biggie, and it was just talking about whatever. And somebody brought up Gene's name, and I remember Gene because I was wondering why they were so upset over some guy named Gene. I'm like, who the hell is this Gene dude that they mad at? They didn't want his name mentioned in the show. And this is way back in whenever. And dude called, and it was a dude, Mike B. I'll never forget it. And he was reckless on the phone, talking about what he was going to do to us, going to do. So we was all like, nigga, come up and see. We the niggas standing in the parking lot. And then the next week or something, or a couple of days later, there was a Bad Boy video that came, and we was like, F them, we not playing the video. And our boss hated Puff anyway, so Craig was more than like happy, like, bet, we ain't doing it. Then the president tried to come in, and he tried to be like, no, y'all got to do it. We said, we don't got to do nothing. What you gonna do, fire everybody at the same time? And then Stephen Hill frustrated, but yo, Puff was on that phone 10 minutes later, yo. He was on that phone like, listen, I apologize, but me being me, I didn't want to hear that shit. I needed to hear Mike B apologize. And he got Mike B on that phone, and Mike was apologizing, and Puff was like, yo, anything y'all need, I'm sorry, that's not how we are. So we had that kind of pull in Rap City where if you did some shit we ain't like, nigga, Leon Cohen, for all the love he gets and how everybody fears him, that man ain't never came to Rap City on no set and told us shit. He watched and said, thank you for all your hard work. So we were very powerful within the industry. You kind of had to get Rap City under control because if we were dirty people, if we weren't all doing it out of love, we'd have been caking off like crazy.
Damn. Do you think a show like Rap City could come back and survive and thrive in today's era of hip hop?
I mean, obviously,
Why?
But obviously, if it came back, it would have to be on a whole nother trajectory, a whole nother angle, a whole nother style. I mean, I think what's the name? I can't remember the name of this network that has that kind of show. It's hard to corner that market when YouTube has all the free videos and et cetera, because of the nature of the viewer now with everything in your pocket, with streaming, you know. But I think it can work. But it would have to be very unique and very, we have to take a different approach. I've even heard rumors of that kind of thing coming back. But how they're going to make it work in this Netflix era is what would have to be highly considered. But I think it could definitely work. I mean, but you have to do it different. You just have to do it different. Go ahead. D.
I mean, I don't know when I'm out the game. So I don't even know what's going on, but it is funny though, because Obi, speaking of YouTube, right? This is the influence of Rap City and Rap City the Basement. Mm-hmm. The brother, I guess, Tuma Basa, he used to come to us to learn about rap music. Tuma used to come right to the Rap City office and sit around me, Alex Jones, and the rest of them Cliff Mack and not Cliff Mack, John Tucker and Robert White, and he would sit and learn because he was from Iowa, and he's from a tribe in Africa and his family moved over here. He was up in Iowa going to college. He didn't even know nothing about hip hop. He would come to us. So that's the irony of why I feel like we need to speak up, because bless his heart and it's dope. But I'm going, well, where is everybody else from Rap City the Basement? I work in education. I'm out the game. I'm an author and I work in education. I'm out the game. But why can't I, why am I not hearing about Obi or Melanie Massey? This young lady has that position in Rock Nation. That should be Melanie Massey. You dig what I'm saying? Where Craig Henry. We should be able to walk in any hip hop venue and say, I produce Rap City the Basement, and automatically at least get in the door. People should be speaking about their experience on Rap City. Too many podcasts. Nori, I love you, but come on, brother. Fat Joe, come on, brother. Master P, come on. Dipset, come on. Cam, come on, brothers. Come on, sister. Like all of y'all, it's like, come on. The work that we all put in, that most of you all saw us doing, to never mention, I think is not, I don't want to whine about it, but it's almost like it's kind of like niggas can't even feed off what they did, but I've got to watch this artist become a multi-millionaire, I should say. And then they do interviews and talk about everything but BET or Rap City. Even Master P did No Limit Chronicles. How the hell you do No Limit Chronicles on BET, Master P, and you never once mentioned Rap City? Now, he mentioned 106 in Park, but I'm like, I remember you coming into Rap City, giving free-eyed and passion plea about the importance of Rap City supporting Lil Romeo. I remember you coming in our office numerous times, sitting with us, brother that you are, making sure that we understood where you was coming from. So for you to reach a point and not mention Rap City is disappointing. So I'm really disappointed in all of these dudes and ladies but you'll mention Leo Cohen or someone from a record label immediately, but you won't even mention Rap City. Tigger is the greatest host I've seen, and we're not best friends. You know what I'm saying? So looking at Tigger's like, why is he still in Atlanta on radio? Like, why is this dude not hosting Miss America, hosting New Year's Eve? I work mainstream. I think I benefited a little bit because I work mainstream as deep as I worked urban television. I've worked, and Tigger's one of the best hosts that I've ever seen. But he's stuck in a certain plateau because Rap City, the Basement, does not get the respect and acknowledgement that we earn, not that we deserve, that we earn. We don't realize that if Nori just on his show says Rap City, that may give life to someone else. So that's what my issue is with a lot of this stuff. We did way too much for to be forgotten. And I can't let that happen.
My idea about it is that, Rap City was part of a bigger animal called BET. And the rappers and stuff that came through there felt like, it seemed like, that BET Rap City was something that was going to be forever. So I don't think it's as much that they are forgetting us. This is going to sound weird. I don't think they're not thinking about us right now, unless it's brought up. If it's brought up, sure, they'll give credit where credit is due. You know what I'm saying? Because, a lot of people made careers out of the ideas and the image that Rap City put forward about these particular artists. But I know if you interact with them on a one-on-one level or on a TV level or some type of level, they would definitely give it. A lot of them would give credit to where it was due regarding Rap City. But Rap City was one of them things like when you think something is always going to be there and then it kind of just fades out. People are caught up in the everyday hustle about what's the next thing, so they jump into the next thing and glorifying that as opposed to what was in the past in their minds and in their eyes a lot of times. So that could be part of it. You know what I'm saying? But it is true. But I think it's up to us, the producers, the directors, or the people that feel like they, either need to be recognized, or even if they don't feel like they need to be recognized, either they just should be recognized. It's up to us to create whatever we're doing next, and then bringing light to the fact and to the work that we did and the work that we're continuing to do, us individually and us as a collective, if we so feel like we need to do that as a collective, because the talent don't stop. It keeps moving. You know what I'm saying? D Brad saying, he out the game. Come on, D Brad, come on with that, man. That's ridiculous, man. You always once in the game, you always in the game. Once in the game, you always in the game.
I teach English in middle school, B. What I need to be around your grown ass men for?
Listen,
what I need to be around your grown men for?
Look, listen. I've taught in the prisons. I've taught in the school. I've taught in the foster care, in the homeless, but it don't matter. Listen, we still moving. We still hip hop. No, be at peace, bro. No, if you're at peace, be at peace.
But I will say though, real quick, to back your Obi. Obi is correct in one sense. I know for a fact that Cameron came to me like, yo, I know what you did, but I was in my own little groove. I know, like, I've run into artists who are like, nah, I know what you did. So that's 100% correct. Cam really, like, he yelled at me because I was working on a project and I didn't ask him for help. He's like, yo, all you did for me, you're not going to ask me. Like, the only time in my life I ever let a grown man yell at me. And I was like, yo, you're right, but I needed to do this on my own. So he's always correct that artists will, yet I still, like, this is why I reach out and do the things that I do, because yet at the same time, if nobody tells our story, who will? If I don't tell it, then who will? If Obi doesn't tell it, then who will? So I attempt to use my platform or whatever at times to talk about Rap City. Obi's way more diplomatic with it than I am, but he's always been that way.
Definitely appreciate that. Talk to us about Big Pun, your relationship with Big Pun, man, and and walk us all the way up to when he passed away, please.
I just did one show with Big Pun. That was in Bahamas back in the day.
Okay.
And his lyrics was crazy, and Fat Joe was there, and his weight was a definite issue, and he was on stage killing it, sitting in a chair on stage. You know what I mean? Because he had his weight. What could you say about the brother's lyrics? The brother's lyrics were just crazy. I mean, he was a god MC. Go ahead, D. I know you got that Big Pun story.
Yeah, no, I really don't. First of all, Big Pun is in my top 5, and I actually placed Big Pun over Big. Lyrically, I played Big. But my little tidbits with Pun is, in hindsight, to me, is sad, because I felt like the time I was around him twice. He's how I got cool with Cuban Link. Like my first time, it wasn't even a show with him. Pun was doing another show, and he had to, because of his weight, I presume, he had to actually wait like in this little hallway and sit on this bench. And I'm coming through, and he's off. Dang, I want to watch how I say this.
Mm-hmm.
like this sad way he was asking I remember Triple C's and a couple other dudes to not leave him.
Okay.
So I came through and I saw Cuban Link, and we like, what up, blah, 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 blah. Because him and I always had this thing. I'm not a drinker. He would always try to buy me a drink. It just, that was my running thing. And I remember, like, homie left, and I was saying what's up to Pun, and I was going to leave. Damn, I hate saying it like that. I hate this little story. And Pun literally was like, yo, man, don't leave, yo. And at the time, I looked at him, and I'm thinking in my head, like, yo, this whole crew, like, they laughing kind of, like it was funny to him. But it wasn't funny to me because I looked in this man's eyes, and I'm like, yo, like, he really didn't want y'all to leave him by himself because he wants to be able to move around and do these things that he couldn't. And and then there was another time where there was a video shoot where it was Fat Joe and like the chair broke. And I remember the whole crew laughed, and the only one pissed off was Joe Claire. He was the only one that was pissed off that everybody was laughing. Pun took it like but it wasn't funny to Joe Claire. And it wasn't funny to me. And I always wondered, like, was Pun the type of guy that if he tried to give advice to, that he just wouldn't take it? Or did his crew kind of go take it for granted, like, Pun ain't going nowhere, he'll be here. But those are my run-ins with Pun. He was always like this smooth dude, man. Smooth dude. I never even had a chance to tell him that he was one of my favorite rappers. Never had a chance to tell him that.
Appreciate the story. And my last question to you, you talked about it a little bit a couple minutes ago. Rappers that were scared to get in the booth. Go ahead and put them on Front Street. Name some of these rappers that were y'all asked to get into the legendary basement in the booth, and they were like, "Nah, I ain't getting in there. I ain't doing this."
Oh, man. Nas.
Get the fuck out of here.
Nah, stop it.
Get out of here. That shit. Nas didn't want that, yo. Nas didn't want to get in the booth. He was like, Eminem.
Damn.
I had to both Eminem into the booth. I literally had to run. First of all, I thought Eminem was way tougher than he was. So I was a little like, I thought he was one of them crazy white boys, but he's not. He's just laid back. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, because the president, Stephen Hill, said he couldn't leave that set unless he got in the booth. And M kept trying to tell me his throat was sore. And I was like, yo, dog, you see me in that booth or job, and I'm not losing my job.
I thought so.
So, but now I didn't want to get in the booth.
Damn.
Yeah, I think Pop? A lot of artists. Huh?
Did you say Pop too?
No, I didn't say Pop. I said Nas. We had Tupac's mother on the show before. I produced that show. And I was like, if Pop was anything like his mother, that brother was a fireball because she was a firecracker, yo. But yeah, there was a lot of artists that. But I think, and Obi, let me know if I'm wrong, the pressure with the booth wasn't the booth. It was that damn Tigger. Tigger would lose his effing mind. Yo, we would have to tell him, like, yo, Tigger, chill. You can't outshine the artist, though. And
Tigger would freestyle his ass off. Tigger would freestyle his ass off the roof.
Yeah.
Because he had a natural.
Tigger,
it might not have been super complicated rhymes, but Tigger's rhymes would be on point enough that if, you didn't come with it, you was gonna look whack. so shout out to Tigger on that. He definitely
nervous, yeah.
Definitely.
But now I'm gonna tell you who surprised me the most in the booth freestyling. Ludacris.
Okay.
I hated that first song he had out, and I didn't like it in the booth. And the man in between the commercial break freestyled about every picture hanging on the wall. And I was like, yo, this nice. And he got in the booth and murdered it. So Southern artist was like, I want the booth. New York artist was like, nah, man, I don't really want to. You know what I'm saying? So I always found that dichotomy very interesting. Very interesting. That the artists who wanted to get in the booth and artists who didn't want. And Nas was the one that caught me off guard. Like, yeah, I thought Nas would have wanted to rip it. Nas ain't want to do it. I think he may have been great, but I think he did something written.
Wow.
I don't even know if Jay-Z ever fit in the booth.
I don't think so. Not that I know of. I don't think so. My favorite in the booth was Snoop and Beans. Those were my favorites. Not Beanie Siegel and Snoop was so dope. Snoop just gets in there and just relaxes. He just at home just chilling. He don't got to be complicated. It's just dope. It's just dope. So
yeah.
Beans was awesome in there. Beans was awesome. But a lot of people, we had a lot of awesome days,
But I know one thing. I'll give you an instance, a great instance about when I spoke earlier about being in Florida. Now, when we connected with DMX, Tigger was filming a show called a movie for Uncle Luke from Two Lives Crew called Uncle Luke's Freak Fest. Now, the comedy of it is during that time, I also for the first time put on a little known DJ named Khaled. DJ Khaled used to be Luke from Two Live Crew's young boy, very shy kid, didn't really know how to operate on the camera. He was very soft. So then to see him blow up, that caught me off guard. Most times I would see it, but I didn't see DJ Khaled because I wasn't quite sure what he did other than follow Luke around. But that was Luke. That was Uncle Luke's young boy when he first started out. He just kind of came. He just kind of, blew out and did his thing, and that was that. But there was also artists like Vita that had a bad attitude. That's why her shit ain't take off from Rap City. I don't even think she know that shit. Vita had a sucky attitude, so the crew was like, we ain't fucking with her. But I blame that on Ja Rule. She was acting a fool because Ja Rule was on the set.
Wow. Great stories, man. We definitely appreciate you guys, man. Two of the former producers of Rap City on the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast, D Brad and brother Obi. Go ahead, brothers. Leave your contact information, your social media, where people can actually, reach out to you guys if they wanted to get some more information.
Damn. I don't even know my Instagram handle, dog, because I don't be on it. I've been on social media for like the past 4 years.
Let me go ahead, Obi.
All right. Yeah, what's up, people? My name is you can find me on Instagram at Obi-san Ichiban. When we were in Rap City, the host of Rap City Japan renamed me from Obi-Wan to Obi-san Ichiban. So at Obi-I SANICHIBAN. That's the Instagram. And also I'm also CEO of a clothing brand you might see out here called Hoodbot. Everything sold, every item sold, we give back to youth technology programs nationwide. So that's our whole running model. So you can check them out at hoodbot.com. And it's a bunch of other things going on soon. Just check us out. And obisanichiban.com will be back online, and you'll see some of the upcoming dope things we got going on. But God bless everybody, man. Thank you guys for having us, man. We really appreciate it, man. And long live Rap City, the power of Rap City, and my man D Brad. And you guys.
There is one say, my fault. The book BET, D Brad and Me is available on lulu.com, and there's many more stories. I speak about my time as Dave Chappelle standing on first season of Chappelle's Show, working on Spider-Man. I talk about a lot of different things that went on. Pretty much everything where we are today is what I wrote, is what I write about. I write about Remy Martin. I write about everything that went on in hip hop. Even Remy Martin's situation when she got caught up with the guns, unfortunately, I was around that time, and it was unfortunate that she had bad people around her.
Definitely. Tell them, the people, one more time, the name of that book and where they can find it.
The name of the book is called BET, D Brad and Me. It is available on lulu.com and amazon.com.
Indeed. Well, we definitely appreciate your time. Say that one more time, D Brad. My bad.
I forgot my Instagram handles because I'm not on social media like that at all. So
ain't nothing wrong with that, brother. Well, we definitely appreciate your time, D Brad, on the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast, and a good brother Obi-Wan blessing us for well over an hour, man. Thank you very much for your time. Hopefully we can get the message out there, man, and do what we do on our side, man. Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. D